Hi, and welcome to session number 6 of the Anonymized Self-Help video sessions. Today we're going to be talking about reducing vulnerability to negative emotions and urges to gamble. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that at Anonymized we have different ways of supporting people. As well as these self-help videos, we have opportunities for you to meet with a clinical psychologist or psychological therapist through a confidential video call, someone with expertise that may be able to support you in achieving your goals. So back to today's video. We're going to be discussing the importance of reducing vulnerability to negative emotions and urges through maintaining a healthy lifestyle. For example, ensuring we are physically healthy, eating well, sleeping well, and engaging in hobbies that give us a sense of fulfillment and control are all really important ingredients to a healthy lifestyle. These changes might sound really obvious, but they're often some of the ingredients that are really overlooked when people try to make important behaviour change. I say that because often people struggling with addictive behaviours have the strongest urges when they're experiencing a more negative emotional state. Therefore, increasing and improving a healthy lifestyle and reducing vulnerability to negative emotions should help to reduce the frequency and the intensity of gambling urges. The first example of developing a healthy lifestyle is to engage in physical exercise. Scientific research shows that physical exercise has a positive influence on mental health and emotional state. Not everyone is comfortable or familiar with engaging in rigorous, high-intensity physical exercise, but if you are, that can be a really positive behaviour change that can start to influence how you experience your emotions and mental health, which could then have a knock-on effect on your gambling behaviours. If you're less familiar or comfortable with high-intensity exercise, there can be low-intensity options that can be just as helpful in changing and influencing your emotional state. The second idea for building a healthy lifestyle is to invest in and engage in hobbies or interests that give you a sense of purpose and a sense of control and mastery. The more able you are to have time for these types of activities, the more likely it is that urges to gamble will be less intense and persuasive. Some people have hobbies and interests that they've lost touch with, so re-establishing those can be a really helpful way of building a healthy lifestyle. For people with fewer hobbies and interests from their past, developing new opportunities can be a bit more effortful, but still a really important step towards building a healthy lifestyle. Thirdly, a really important ingredient to a healthy lifestyle is a stable and healthy sleep routine. There is so much scientific research that shows us that poor, broken sleep can really lend itself to poor emotional and mental health. And remember, the worse you are in your emotional and mental health, the more vulnerable you'll be to intense urges and gambling behaviours. There can be lots of reasons why people struggle with sleep in this day and age. And I see this as such a common problem in my clinical practice as a clinical psychologist. There are lots of ideas for improving sleep quality, but there are two that are particularly important that I often find myself telling the patients I work with. The first idea for improving sleep quality is to set yourself an early wake-up time that you stick to every day. Whether that be 6 a.m, 7 a.m, even 8 or 9 a.m, Choosing that time and sticking with it on a daily basis can be the starting point to really changing your experience of sleep quality. Sticking to that time is so important, even if you've not got to sleep till 5 a.m. the night before. Waking up at the set wake-up time is going to be a hugely important part of re-establishing a healthy sleep routine. The next tip for maintaining a healthy sleep pattern is to avoid any naps or snoozing in the daytime. By sleeping in the day, you confuse your body clock and you make it less likely that your body and brain will be ready to sleep when it comes to the night time. If you're able to stick with those two changes, waking up at the same early time every day, regardless of how little sleep you got the night before, and avoiding any snoozing or sleeping in the day, I'm confident you'll see an improvement in your sleep pattern within a matter of days. The fourth ingredient to building a healthy lifestyle is reducing your consumption of alcohol or other substances or recreational drugs. What we know is when under the influence of alcohol or other substances, people are much more likely to engage in impulsive behaviours. So thoughts or urges to gamble are going to be much more persuasive when intoxicated. What we also know is that when coming down or hungover from the effects of alcohol and drugs, there can be profound effects on our emotional state and the way we think and behave. Therefore, it's much more likely that we'll engage in problematic behaviours or relapse into addictive behaviours when we're in those states of mind. So having control over how much we consume with alcohol or other substances is going to be a really important part of the picture of recovery from gambling problems. Remember, these are the ingredients to a healthy lifestyle that often get overlooked when people are trying to change addictive behaviours. So I'd encourage you to think about your own lifestyle, think about these factors, and think about where there are opportunities for change and improvement. Doing so will really increase the chances of you achieving your goals with overcoming gambling behaviours. Thanks for listening and good luck.